All right, welcome back to the Construction Game Podcast. Super excited to be here with you this week talking about the technology that you need in your construction business to scale your business. All right, so last week was really cool because the whole team got together at a ranch in Texas. We were out there. It was 1,000 acres. It was really cool. People from North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida all came down. DC, Maryland, Virginia came down. And we spent the weekend together and we got a chance to break bread with each other and basically humanize everything that we're doing in the construction business. Because a lot of times it's like submittals, RFIs, meetings and all this stuff, but like getting a chance to just sit down and to connect with the team members, it was awesome. We all got together, got a chance to shoot some skeet, do a lot of really cool things. So that was really cool. And then I took the first flight out on Sunday morning, was able to come back to see my wife and 2 kids. And also get a chance to send my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and their 2 kids off to Japan. It was really cool. We did a quick dinner that night, and then the next day they took off for their flight to Japan. So it's going to be we're definitely going to miss them, but we're definitely going to make our trip over there with the kids, and it's going to be really fun. So, thinking about technology in the business, and when we first started out, it was just me. So we didn't really have crazy technology, and we still don't have crazy technology now in the business, but we have technology that makes us better, right? And it allows us to all to work together. And when I was first starting, it was like me on my computer, all the files were saved on my computer. So if my computer crashed, my files would be gone, right? And then that's why I was always running around with these huge USB backup drives because I didn't want to lose all my files, right? But when I brought on my first assistant, that's when I was like, oh, I can't have everything on my computer. We have to have a central network where all of the files are there, and then everybody can go out and access those files from that network. So we got Dropbox, and Dropbox has been awesome for us. It's allowed us to really grow and scale. We have multiple team members going into those files every single day, updating them, adding things to them, getting information from them, and working from them. And we are able to do that. And we're not all here in the office. It's also allowed us to be remote, right? Which I really don't like remote, but from our standpoint, it's allowed us to get really good talent, right? We've gotten some really good talent down in Texas. We've gotten some really good talent out in Colorado. We've gotten some really good talent that was here in DC, but then wanted to move to Florida. And because we've been able to use this technology, we're now able to keep that talent continuing to push McKinsey forward. So the Dropbox thing has been great for us. It allows us to all be able to work in the same system, be able to work in the same folder system. It allows us to, bring team members and attract talent that's not just right here in Washington, D.C. And it's allowed everything to start getting out of my head and then getting into one central system where we can actually scale, right? Because, if I'm the only person running the projects, then we're only going to be so big. If I'm the only person estimating the projects, then we're only going to be so big. If I'm the only one that's doing the financials, then we're only going to be so big. But now we have each one of those departments feeding into everything that we're doing on Dropbox. So Dropbox has been awesome for us, right? So another thing that we do from a technology standpoint is we use this software called Connect. And, in the beginning, I wasn't a big fan of it because I'm a hunter, man. I'm a hunter. What do I mean by that? If we need to go out there in the marketplace and put together a proposal, we need to go out there and find subcontractors that can help us put together that proposal. And the way I've always done it was I got to call my supply houses. If I need drywall, paint, I call my Sherwin-Williams rep and say, hey, who do you know in Texas, Kentucky, Georgia, wherever I'm working at that does a lot of business with you? And then I speak with them, and then I get them to give me pricing. And then if I need another referral for something else, then I reach out to them and ask them for that, right? So that was my whole thought process of how I would put together my proposals, right? But as we were going into more areas and we had more team members doing it, we looked into and we started to deploy Connect in the business. And Connect has been awesome because it's not hunting, but it's more like fishing, right? You throw your rod out there and you have your bait, right? You have your plans and your specs, and you're finding other subcontractors that want to be a part of your team, right? So that technology allows us to go into different markets and connect us with the contractors that they already have in their system in those markets, so they can provide us a proposal. And honestly, there's been times where it was like, man, we don't have a proposal, or we have a gap for this scope, and at the 23rd hour, we got our proposal due at 11, and by 9 o'clock, somebody submits a proposal through Construct Connect. And they've been rock solid. These people that we've been getting from Construct Connect to come help us get projects to the finish line have been rock solid, and they've done everything that we've needed them to do. And then honestly, one of them has even bailed us out on a project. There was a contractor that we had previously been working with, and we signed him up. He said he was going to be there on Monday. He didn't show up on Monday. He said he was going to be there on Wednesday. He didn't show up on Wednesday. He said he was going to be there on Friday. He didn't show up on Friday. So I told the team to send a 48-hour termination notice on Friday. He's like, I'll be there Monday. I'll be there Monday. He didn't show up on Monday. Then boom, we brought in that person that we found on Construct Connect, and they came in and they performed. So Construct Connect has been really good for the organization. Another piece of technology that has been really good for the organization and has helped us scale and do things in all these different markets has been Zoom or Microsoft Teams, basically a online team meeting platform, right? And these platforms have really been transformational for us, because when I first got into government contracting, I always had to be on site for the meetings, and I would have to go to Tyndall Air Force Base. I'd have to go down to Gainesville, Florida for the USDA. I'd have to go up to all of the projects. I had to be there, physically had to be there. So you can only imagine how unscalable that is, right? But now that we have these Microsoft Teams and Zoom, now all of a sudden I can just tap right in and I can go to that meeting or that kickoff meeting for a project in Texas, a kickoff meeting for a project in Tennessee, a kickoff meeting for a project in North Carolina, all in the same day, right? Whereas when I physically go in there, it's impossible to do it in the same day. I have to schedule them each out day and run around like a chicken with my head cut off. And honestly, it's not as convenient, right? It's super convenient to be able to plug in, and if you feel like you're right there, the same information is being conveyed in the meeting, so there's no loss of value. The same exact information is being conveyed, and now all of a sudden we can just do so much more. So I love the online video conferencing platforms, right? They've also been great for our team. We have a daily team meeting every day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, and everybody in the organization, whether you're in California, Idaho, Colorado, Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, or DC, Maryland, Virginia, or sometimes even New Jersey, we all are able to call in there, and we can all connect and share our takeaways, how we're winning in the marketplace. And that's been transformational for the organization as well. It's allowed everybody to have their voice in the organization and be able to share the positive things that they're working on in the organization, which then inspires other team members to want to get wins as well. So yeah, those online video conferencing platforms has been transformational for us. And even in terms of meeting with our team members, I'm meeting with our team members on a day-to-day basis with that same software, because my finance guy lives in New York, right? To do financial stuff, we have to constantly be in sync, but we hop on a Zoom call and I can use that little pencil writing function in Zoom, and it literally feels like I'm sitting right beside him, right? I'm looking at his screen, I'm working right alongside him, and we're getting tremendous amounts of work completed. And it's been really, really a great tool that's we've been able to utilize in the organization. Then the next software that we use is Procore. And honestly, I love Procore from the standpoint it has helped streamline all of the daily reports, all of the pictures for our projects, right? We used to have superintendents emailing all of these pictures, and you'd have to have them in your files and save them out. But now everything just gets uploaded into Procore, and it's awesome. And they're a platform that we've been able to utilize, and now we understand the power of it. Now we're actually looking for another platform because we don't utilize all of the functions that Procore has, right? So Procore is like a Rolls Royce, but we just use it for daily reports and pictures. So we're looking in the marketplace for some other softwares that we can utilize, because Procore charges based off of your revenue. So when we were a $10 million company, they charged us a rate. Now we're a $20 million company, they're charging us a different rate. Now we're a $40 million company, that charges us a different rate. And when we're 80, 100, blah, blah, plus, 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 they're going to be charging us different rates, right? Whereas like these other companies that do basically the exact same thing that we need, daily reports and pictures, they just charge a per user fee, right? Similar to how we utilize Dropbox, they charge us 100, 200 bucks a user. Great. These people would charge us 100, 200 bucks a user. So we're in the market looking for something along those lines, but that's besides the fact. The technology has been awesome in terms of help streamlining all of the stuff that we got going on. I mean, we have jobs in all these different areas. We have multiple superintendents, but all of them are feeding everything into that one system. It's been a tremendous help in terms of keeping all that organized versus all these emails all over the place. And then, team member didn't save it out in the folder. We needed that platform and that system to be able to help us really dial all that stuff in. And the final technology that we utilize in the organization that has helped us grow and scale is Google Sheets. Google Sheets has been awesome for us. That's how we put together all of our proposals. And we need that because all of our estimators are not here in DC, right? But I need to be involved in reviewing those estimates before they go out the door because there's a huge commitment that those estimates have for the organization, right? So I want to take a look at that. And because we have that technology of Google Sheets, we can all be working in the same spreadsheet all at the same time. So that's been transformational in the organization because we have estimators that are in Florida. A couple of them are in Florida, actually. We have some that are in North Carolina. We have estimators that are all throughout the United States. And by utilizing Google Sheets, it allows us to get that talent, right? That talent that can estimate the way we estimate, not the way, everybody else estimates, but the way we estimate. And, that allows us to really dial that in and all work on the same sheet, be able to get talent throughout the whole United States. And then also be able to, keep all of our data and data clean, right? Because we're working in Google Sheets and we can all be working in the same sheet. Like there's no confusion of like, hey, did you mess up this formula here or did you not add this there? Like we can confirm and double and triple check, to make sure all that data is clean. So, those are the technologies that we're utilizing in our organization to take us from 10 to 20 to 40 to now 80. And it's going to be crazy to see what other technology we utilize, as we continue to grow. But like those are the technologies that we're utilizing right now. And if those technologies if you're currently utilizing them or you think they would be a benefit in your organization, let me know by smashing that like button. And if you know of another contractor that could utilize some of these technologies in their business, go ahead and share this video with them and subscribe. Let's roll and have a great day.